Hey everybody, Cody with Princess Craft RV in Katy, Texas. Today we're going to go through the 2025 XT16HR East-West Off-Grid Extreme. So we're going to go through how to operate this thing, how to hook it up to your tow vehicle. So let's start right up front here and let's get through it. So up front, this rides on the Cruisemaster coupler. With the trailer, you do get supplied the piece that's going to go in your ball mount that's going to go into your tow vehicle, because it is a special pin that goes into the Cruisemaster coupler. Once you back this underneath your coupler here, you're going to lower down onto it. That's going to sit in there, and you're going to push this red pin down, and it's going to lock on. Once that's locked, you are ready to go. And there is a cap here that comes with it that covers it, and this cap will not sit in place if that's not latched on correctly. To release it, you're just going to push that pin down, and you're going to push back on this sleeve until it goes all the way back, and that pin should stay in the up position, and then you can raise up off of your Cruisemaster pin here. Okay, some other things that we've got up here at the tongue of the trailer. We're going to have your 2-pin Anderson connector that MDC has installed on the trailer side. This is going to go to the DC to DC charger that is installed in the unit. Now, to utilize this, it does require some wiring be installed on the truck to hook into this. Separately, you do have your standard 7-way plug, which is going to provide all your lights and brake control. We've got your safety breakaway cable that's going to yank out of this little box if you get completely separated and engage the brakes on the trailer. And we've got your big beefy safety chains here. And these do need to create a crisscross pattern underneath the tongue here. Manual crank tongue jack. This thing is pretty cool. It does swing up. It's also adjustable in drop height with this pull lever over here to allow for different clearances, whether you need to be really short or really long. And then it folds up for travel. We've got a water spigot up here in the front to where you can just have some water up here if you need it. We've got your safety brake cable, so once you're parked and everything, you can pull up on this. It's going to pull the brakes, engage the brakes on the trailer. And then we've also got a little light sensor in here that is for your integrated trailer sway control system. It's going to be this little guy right here. And moving on behind that, we're going to have your storage boxes. Right in the middle, we are going to have your dual 20-pound propane cylinders. It's going to be a single hose, so once one cylinder runs low, you're going to take the pigtail connection off, move it over to the other cylinder, pull that one out, other one out, and go get it exchanged or refilled. Both of your side bins are for storage. This one's got a jerry can holder in it, so you can put a fuel can in there or a water can. This side's also got a jerry can holder, so you can carry whatever you need to in your jerry can. So all of the latches up here do come with these little pin locks. This center locker, since it's got the LP cylinders in it, it is recommended that you do not lock it in case there is a issue with fire that the fire department would have access to that. That's recommended that you don't lock it. So moving on down the side here. So 4-corner stabilizers on this trailer. To get these to swing down, you're going to grab the blue oval handle here and pull out. It's going to allow the leg to swing down. And you want to try to achieve a 90-degree angle on this if you can. Obviously, depending on ground clearances, you may not be able to. And then all you're going to do is you can run it down. You can get a 19-millimeter socket on your drill, or you can use the hand crank that comes with it, and you're just going to crank this down and apply some light pressure. To put them back away, you're just going to crank them up, pull out on that handle, and then swing it out of the way. While we're down here, we do have a low-line water drain here that's going to allow water to drain out of the water line that runs to the front of the trailer. This is going to be your wet bay for all of your water hookups in here. So we're going to have your 2 freshwater tanks, fills, and then a gray water tank flush essentially. So the bottom one here is going to be for your gray water tank. The top two ones are going to be for your fresh water tanks. And then your city water connection is going to be here. And we've also got your outside shower. MDC does provide a quick connect that goes with that, so it makes hooking up your hose a lot easier. And to keep this compartment completely closed, you're just going to take this cap out, and then you can feed just your water hose through there. All right, so right above our wet bay is going to be our Truma furnace vent. This can get hot, so just watch out for your fingers and putting anything over it while it's in operation. Moving on back, we're going to have our Truma water heater. To get into this, we're just going to turn this little latch here. Door's going to open up, and then the door can be removed and swung down out of the way. Now for this to operate, all of these are going to ship with this yellow dust plug in here. I like to put it back in when it's not in operation to keep bugs and wasps and dirt as much as possible out of that burn chamber in there. It's going to really help keep the efficiency up and keep your maintenance costs down to get the bugs cleaned out and things like that. Also in here, we're going to find our drain. So to get that open, we're going to push up on this lever and pull this yellow handle all the way down. And then that's going to allow us to remove our filter / drain plug on this water heater. This is super important that this gets removed for winterization. These mixing vessels right here can crack very easily if you do not drain them and get all the water out of them for winterization. Now with the Off-Grid Extreme package, MDC does include the heating element for the water heater, so this can be operated in wintertime. Plugs in here, slides in place of the normal filter, and it's controlled from the inside on the control panel, which I can show you how to do. Main power switch right here. If for some reason your water heater does not show up inside on your control panel for operation, make sure that switch is in the on position. We've got 3 additional Anderson plugs here on the side. Each one of those can handle up to an additional 200 watts of solar, so 600 total additional external solar panels that can be hooked up to this. And each of these is already run to a solar controller inside, so you would need an unregulated panel that can be hooked into those. Wheels and tires. Just like your car, you're going to want to check your tire pressure. Set it to the manufacturer's recommended pressure that's on the tongue of the trailer on the tire identification sticker. Lug nuts should be checked and retorqued periodically. We recommend at least before every trip that you check your lug nut torque, so make sure you own a torque wrench and check that before you hit the road when you do your tire pressure. Your 30 amp inlet power is going to be right here. It's a very simple hookup. You've got 3 prongs in there. You're going to take your cord and match those prongs up, give it a little twist to the right, and then it's going to have a lock ring on that you're going to thread onto these threads around here. We want a good snug connection so we don't get any arcing or overheating at that connection. Back here we've got both of our access ports, or hatches if you will, for our cassette toilet. So with the off-grid package, this toilet is filled separately through this hatch here. It's going to unlock, and you're just going to put your hose in and fill it up to fill the reservoir for the toilet. Being a cassette toilet, cassette comes out really easily. Once it's full, you're just going to lift up on this blue lever down here at the bottom, and you're going to pull the whole cassette out. And this is your cassette toilet, or your cassette for your toilet. And to dump it, you're basically going to swivel the elbow out, take the cap off. Whether you're dumping this into a toilet or down into a clean out, whichever is available or convenient, you'll push down on this blue button here, which is a vent release, so we don't create a vacuum inside of the cassette. Then you're just going to dump it until it's empty. Once it's empty, if you need to do additional cleaning, you can. You're just going to slide this cap off here and rotate that blue valve, and then you can spray water in there and get it cleaned out. Once you get all that done, you're just going to reassemble it. Make sure your valve is closed. Put your cap back on. This is wheelable, so you can, if it's too heavy for you, you can swing this out, and it does have wheels so you can pull it. But to reinstall it, once we're all there, we're just going to slide it back in here all the way in until it latches in place. Moving on around to the rear. A couple things we got going on back here. So you do have a front and rear LED spotlight. The off-grid package now comes with the backup camera. We've got your spare tire back here, license plate bracket, spare license plate light. We do have some receivers or tow hooks back here in the back, maybe to help give a little tug if you get stuck while you're out off-roading. And we've got your roof access ladder. Roof access ladder weight is limited to 250 pounds, but you do need to be up there inspecting things, keeping those solar panels clean, checking your sealants up on the roof, making sure everything's staying good. We want to keep water out, and we want to keep those solar panels clean so we can get some maximum optimization out of those. All right, over here on the door side, we're almost done with the outside. We've got your prep table. So this is just key locked, folds down. It's just a table, nothing fancy. We've got some exterior 110 outlets. In this watertight compartment here, we have what we call in-out storage. So these racks pull to the outside. They also go to the inside. I'll show you that from the inside, so they can be in or out. Compartment right next to it's going to be for our TV. So we can take our TV from the inside and move it to the outside and hang it out here and watch TV. Again, we've got your 110 outlets here, GFCI protected. We've got a 12 volt power port, as well as a coax hookup here for you. This little bracket right here is going to be for one of your door holdback options. I'm going to show you how that works right now. So the door can be held at roughly a 90-degree angle or almost flat to the wall. Now, some of that's going to be related to your windows being open and or your awning usage as to which position it can be latched in. But to do it in this one, we're just going to do it here. That's going to allow it to clear your window, not bang on it. If you want to go all the way back, we do need to make sure your window is closed. You're going to flip this little ring out here from the handle all the way back, and you're just going to loop it on there like that, and that's going to hold it all the way back. While we're talking about the door, this does have a screen door option here that you're going to just rotate this little lever up right here. That can be pinned back, and then this can close, and you do have your screen door. This also has a dust cover here. They've got a warning label here that this needs to be opened up anytime you're using the gas appliances inside, but it's there to keep the road dust and stuff out while you're traveling. Outside kitchen. So to get everything out of here, we do have a couple of different locks that we're gonna undo. First of all is gonna be that one, and then we're gonna have our slide lock here. We're just gonna push down on this blue lever, grab the handle, and we're gonna slide this thing all the way out. Once you get it all the way out, it should lock in place. And you can start opening all of this up. Everything is secured with a bungee that should flip up. So we're gonna undo those to start. So this is gonna just flip up like that, and then we're gonna take our wind guards, and they're gonna fit down into these little grooves here. And that's going to keep them from collapsing down. Our little spice rack over here, now that we've got it unbungeed, can just flip up. Make sure your hinges actually lock into place here. And then we've got another release tab or pull pin over here on the side. We're going to pull that out, and you can lock that to the out position, and then the rack is just going to fold down. Great little storage space for your spices and stuff while you're cooking out here. We do have hot and cold water out here. And all of those connections store in here underneath the sink. So we've got your drain tube. So this does need to go into a collection device of some sort, whether it be a tote tank or a bucket. You will need to check on what campground that you're staying at allows. You do have your 12 volt accessory port that's gonna plug in into this compartment back here behind the outside cook station. And that's gonna provide your ignition power for the cooktop. We've got your gas hose here, quick connect style. It's gonna hook in right down here. You're gonna take the dust plug out. You're gonna push back on the collar. push in and then let go. Once that collar comes all the way forward, there's a little gas valve down here that then you can rotate and should be in line with the gas hose that will now allow propane to flow to your cooktop. The other thing that does is it locks that gas line on there. It will not allow it to accidentally disconnect. To get it to remove, you've got to turn the gas valve off, push back on that collar, pops right out. Just don't forget to put your dust caps back in place. Your water supply is permanently plumbed, so there are no connections that have to be made and unmade there. Now to store all this away, we're gonna pick up on our hinges here and allow the, oh, actually let me back up. I need to put this away first, which we're gonna pinch up on our hinges here and fold it up. And we're gonna allow that latch to set. And then we're gonna pick up on our hinges here and allow this to come down. Make sure your faucet is folded down out of the way and rebungee your items. The other two drawers here are for storage. This one does have a cutlery tray in it, so you can store your stuff. There is a countertop extension here, and there is a support pole that will go into this hole right here. So this thing is, it's kind of heavy, so you do want to use that support pole. It's just going to be an extension pole that goes right into that hole. Now to get this put away, we're going to push down on the lock. Push it in, get it all the way in until it locks, and then let's do our secondary lock here and get that latched in. Now moving to our last exterior storage compartment, we are going to have your outside storage slide here. This can be used for, the idea is a cooler. But if you wanted to put, say, a solid floor in it and just use it as a slide out storage, you can, however you see fit. They do have your, again, a cigarette lighter style power port in here, and they also have the 2-pin Anderson style. When you're trying to optimize the performance of your portable coolers, the 2-pin Anderson style connector is going to provide a much more stable current than a cigarette lighter style plug, which will allow that fridge to perform better when it's outside. All right, so coming just in the entry door here, we're gonna have a few switches down here at the bottom to cover. So these switches are gonna be for your outside lighting. We've got your left side and right side, and then essentially whether you want the porch light, if you will, to be yellow or white in color will be depending on what switch you flip here. Now these switches, over here we generally think of being in the up position as on. These are backwards of that. The down position is the on position. The other switch panel here is going to be for your front and rear spotlights. The 2-pin switch here is going to be for your awning. So main power switch on. Now you can either open or close your awning, and it's all automatic. Once you flip it to on, it extends automatically, stops on its own. Same with retraction. The Renogy control panel here, one button is for the control of your inverter. Button in, inverter is on, so it's either going to be inverting your battery power to shore power, or if you're plugged into shore power and you lose power, it will automatically switch over to invert and keep everything powered up for you. Check sheet over here, we kind of have some pre-tow checklists from MDC. They've got their manual here on their QR code, and just some other advice to users, safety advice to follow. So just on the other side of the door, we've got your fire extinguisher. It does have a dial pressure gauge on it, if you will. Needle needs to be in the green. If it's anything but in the green, it needs to be replaced. This little cubby space right here with a contact pad in it is for wireless charging of your cell phone. All right, so in our east-west bed design, our bed is east-west. So let's go over our switches right here, kind of at the top of the entry door. Very large singular top button is going to be for our cabinet lighting in our bathroom. The first button on the 3-button panel is going to be for our puck lights or our ceiling recess lighting in the main area. Center switch is going to be for our perimeter cabinet lighting. And then our last button that has a little blue line in it is going to be for our floor lighting. or accented blue floor lighting down there. Up here in the bedroom space, we do have 2 of the Sirocco fans. These are controlled with the buttons up here on the base of them. They do have a timer and multi-speed. You will notice that these don't have a large amount of grating in them because they have rubber blades in them that you can turn these things all the way up and they don't hurt if you put your finger in them. Don't put your finger in them, but you know. Overhead, we do have a couple of storage cabinets, and we've got your reading lights over the bed. Let's take a look under the mattress. All right, so here's all the fun stuff under the mattress. As you can tell, it'd probably be easier if we remove the whole thing, but in the very back compartment here, we're gonna have your Renogy 3000 watt inverter, your Renogy Rego MPPT solar controller, and then we've got your combo MPPT slash DC to DC charger up there. All Renogy products, all controlled, circuit breakers, all that good stuff is in here. We do have a gas shutoff valve up here for your Truma furnace system, which is going to be this guy right here. And then down in this compartment over here, we are going to find your water heater. We've also got some valves down here. So we've got your gas shutoff valve. We are going to have bypass and drain valves, all going on down here for winterization and draining of the freshwater system. You're probably wondering why I'm sweating so much and we're in the 16 Off-Grid Extreme that can run the air conditioner off-grid, right? Well, it's because my camera guy says that the air conditioner makes too much white noise in his videos. So, last couple things to cover here. We do have another charge pad in this overhead storage here. And then we do have an overhead escape hatch or skylight, big hatch here that opens and closes. That can be propped halfway or all the way open. And then just stored for travel. And you also have day and night shade on them. And you do have your perimeter lighting, can be controlled right here on the switching. All right, moving over here to our dinette area, we've got your Furrion microwave overhead. We've got 2 overhead cabinets. This one has a little bit of storage space in it. It's also got your 110 outlet for your microwave, and it also has a side vent for your microwave. So if this is getting utilized, just make sure we don't obstruct the cord or knock it loose, and that we don't obstruct our ventilation in here. In this cabinet over here, we're gonna have all of our control switches. We've got our Renogy 1-core touch panel that's going to give us our battery and an inverter information and some solar information. You can also pair that with the Renogy Home app and monitor all that from your phone. You've got your battery disconnect switch, tank heating pads, all of your resettable 12-volt breakers here, and then we've got switches to control each of the products over here. Now, to use all of the cabinet latches in here, they are you push them in to get them out of the way. To pop them out, and then you have to rotate them to actually pull the latch in to allow you to open the cabinet. Moving down to the dinette space, this is also going to make into a bed. So to do that, we're going to rotate this up. You're going to push up on this lever and fold that leg down. And then you've got 2 releases right here, so you're going to release those, which then allows you to lift the table off. And it's gonna latch onto this bar down here at the bottom. So you're just gonna center that on there like that, and the table should sit right down, and then we're just gonna take our cushions and they are gonna slide down to make our bed space. To put it back up is just going to be the opposite. So flip your cushions up out of the way. We're going to lift that up and off. We're going to pop it back on the top one. Tilt that leg back down. Make sure you push these latches back into place so they hold on to the table. And you are back to being a dinette. Now we do have a few things under here to show you. So under this side, we do have one 400 amp hour Renogy Rego lithium battery. Does have a power button on top of it. Does have a couple of status indicator lights. Charge level is going to be here. This is going to be the heater status, so it's got a built-in heater for cold weather operation. And if you do have any kind of issues here, you should get a battery status light. We're also going to have another main battery disconnect here, which is going to shut off the inverter and everything else in the unit other than just your peripheral 12 volts. Under the other side, we have your other 400 amp hour Renogy Rego lithium smart battery. Again, all of this can be monitored separately through the Renogy home app or through the screen up in the compartment. We've also got your LPCO alarm down here. We've got a USB-A, USB-C, and cigarette lighter style charging ports. Another 110 outlet, and you will see all these metal grates. These are all for proper ventilation of the products that are installed in those cabinets. So try not to obstruct any of that airflow that's necessary for proper operation. Over our refrigerator, storage cabinet. Equipped with the Norcold refrigerator, we've got our travel lock on here. So this has a lock and unlock. We're just going to rotate it and you pinch the sides, it just pops out. And then to open it, you are going to have a nice sized stand-up style refrigerator with a freezer up top. All of your controls are going to be on the touch panel up here. In order to make the fridge turn on, we do have to make sure we have the toilet fridge /fridge switch on. And that's going to allow our display to come on. We're going to have our temperature settings, power settings, all the typical stuff that you would expect to see on a refrigerator. Moving over to the kitchen side, we're going to have our Furrion 3-burner cooktop with oven. It is a rotational igniter here. You do have some accent lighting on there, so the down position of the switch will also include the oven. Up switch is just your control knobs. Kitchen sink, hot cold water with a fold away spout, so you can close that down, get some nice countertop space here. Again, we've got more storage space here, and we have another inline gas shutoff valve that's going to go to your cooktop. And we've got some drawers. TVs on the wall to swing out here. So this can be positioned whether you want to watch TV in the bed, at the dinette. If you're feeling wild, you could even watch it while you're in the bathroom. And it's going to plug in up here, so it's 12 volt powered. And it's hooked up to your coax port right here for over-the-air TV. Just above that, we're going to have your breaker panel or your power distribution center for your 110. Inside, you're going to find 4 breakers. Essentially, the first 2 are tied together. And then you're going to have 2 other panels. So you've got your main breakers, and then your inverter, and your accessory receptacles. This little black temp sensor looking thing right here is for your Truma air conditioner and furnace, so that can go to the CP Plus control panel, which is going to be this guy right here. Detect room temperature, so it knows when to control things on and off. It's going to be this panel right here. Right next to that, we're going to have our tank monitors, which is going to give you your tanks, and those little needles will move just like a gas gauge. We've got your CD player, radio, all that good jazz there. Overhead, we do have a couple more storage compartments. In the back, you'll see your antenna booster in this one. It's going to help increase your over-the-air signal so you can tune in on those local free channels. Furrion vent hood, so it's got a fan and a light on it. We do have a grease trap in here, so you're just going to push back on these 2 little latches. This is going to slide out. You're going to pull this screen material out of here, give it a rinsing with warm soapy water, let it dry, and then reinstall it. All right, so the Off-Grid Extreme unit's going to be equipped with the Truma Aventa air conditioner. So this can be controlled from the CP Plus over here above the kitchen, or it can be controlled with the Truma Aventa remote control. So you can set your temperature, set your fan speed, all that good jazz from the remote, from your bed, if you so choose. This is gonna be your little sensor right here for the remote. All right, so off into the bathroom we go. We've got our sliding door on this unit here. So it's got two latches. It's got one at the floor and one at the track at the top. So the latch at the top is a flip latch. And down here at the bottom, it's gonna have, you can essentially unlock this with your foot, or you can reach down and do it with your hand. You're gonna push down on this piece right here. To lock it back in place, you can push down on it with your foot from the top or your hand again. But once that's released and the top latch is released, this door will slide shut, just like so. And then that latch at the top and the bottom can be relocked to make sure nobody's getting in here while you're in the bathroom. Also on the door, we do have a clothes rack here that folds away. So you can hang your wet clothes or anything like that that you need to hang up there. Overhead, we do have a reversible fan with a light in the framework. The fan switch is going to be right here. It's got a hash symbol, if you will, and then a positive. So basically a negative and a positive and a 0 on it. The negative symbol is going to pull the airflow out of the trailer. The positive symbol will pull the airflow into the trailer from the fan. It is just a crank top lid. Light switch here on the wall is going to be for the main lighting in the bathroom. Moving on to our Thetford toilet. So for the water, this is going to be a hand pump. So you just pump this up and down. As you pump it, it's going to put water into the bowl. Once you've got enough water in there, you've done your business, you're going to take this little lever right down here and you're going to open that. And that's going to allow everything to go down into that cassette. Don't forget to close it. A little storage space here. We've got a couple of cubbies. We do have another cigarette lighter style USB-A, USB-C accessory charge ports here. 110 outlet. Do have some more overhead storage cabinets. Nice countertop mounted sink with hot and cold water. Underneath you'll find water connections for your shower, for your sink. So anytime things are exposed like this, I like to just put caution out there. Be careful when you're putting stuff in there that you don't knock things loose and create an unnecessary leak. And you've got your drawers. Let's check out the shower. All right, so here in the shower, plenty of space to get cleaned up in here. We do have another overhead vent with the light and the fan situation. Same for what's over the toilet there. We do have a nice long hosed shower head here. So hot and cold water, obviously the shower head height can be raised and lowered, as well as the soap dish. There's a towel rack or wash towel rack in here, soap racks. The drain in the shower is the same as the drain in the sink, so they just push down. So you can push them with your hand in the shower here, your foot in the shower, your hand in the sink. They just push down to hold water. They push down again to release and drain. We also have another clothes rack in here, so if you have wet clothes that are dripping wet, you may want to hang them in here. But hey guys, that pretty much covers the inside of our 2025 XT East-West Off-Grid Extreme from MDC.